Welcome COP 1000 students. This module 6 is about user input. Up until this slide, you've learned two functions, main and print. Typically, it's bad practice to hard code variable values inside your program, such as age equals 5 or value 1 equals 9. Typically, you would calculate a value or ask a user to type something in. The Python function to get user input is input. The input function. So if you expect the user to type in some type of input, you need a place to hold or store the input. Typically, you would place the input function on the right side of an assignment operator. Here's an assignment operator. The right side is where the input function would go. The left side of the assignment operator, you would have a variable. So, oops, missing a param. Let's fix it. There's the parentheses, so that's the, oh my goodness, let's fix it again. Just like this. It's okay, it's good to have problems. Okay, so there's the proper syntax. So it's input, and then I can display a string on the screen. How old are you? So input, and the argument to input is a string to place on the screen. So when this runs, you're going to see how old are you? Question mark with a space, and then the user is going to be able to type their age. Look at this. We did this down here too. And then you could print, you are age years old. You are 10 years old, for example. So the program should output, you are, when I use the number 99, I mean any number the user typed in. So I don't mean 99, I mean whatever the user typed. So if the user typed in 17, it would say you are 17 years old. So let's put this together. Age gets, so age gets how old are you? How old are you? Let's assume now, this is a comment, the user enters 17. Print, you are 17 years old. So the output would be, you are 17-year-old, period. Simple. Using the input function with numbers and doing math, this is an issue with input and Python. Python stores the result of input as a string of text, not as a number. You can't do math with a string. You can't say Dennis plus Fred equals something. There is a workaround. You could do something like this. Age gets input, how old are you? Look at this. How old are you? You are 17 years old. In 5 years, you will be 22, right? Well, to be able to do this, I need to convert age from a string into a number. So in this case, I would be converting it into an integer. So this is actually a built-in function to convert a string into a numeric value. Int is a function, and what's it do? It takes the argument, that string, and when it gets called, it converts that argument into an integer. So int stands for integer. There's also another function called float. It does the same thing, but it converts it to a floating point number. So a sample program, we'll ask the user for his or her name, then we'll say first name, what is your last name, and then say your last name, or your name is. So for example, what is your first name? And we type in Dennis, and then it says, Dennis, what is your last name? And then you type in your last name, so Hunchuk. And then it's going to say, your name is Dennis Hunchuk. And then ask for the age, and then cube the age, and then show the future age. So here's a solution to this program. I'm going to define this function main. I'm going to define this function main. In the function main, I'm going to have a variable for the first name, last name, and full name. I have a variable to store the age. I'm going to default it to 0. I don't need to do that, but it might be good practice. And this is defaulting these to strings. Here's my variable first name. On the left side of the assignment operator, I'm going to input what is your first name. It's going to go into here. And then I'm going to say hello first name or Dennis. Now, this little trick is to stop the new line from happening. So end equals new line by default. Well, if I put it into a space, then the carriage return new line will not happen. So first name equals, full name equals first name plus a space plus the last name. Print, your name is Dennis Hunchuk. How old are you? Say an age. And then here I am with future age. So future age equals, here's that function integer, converting this into a number so that I can cube it. You will be something in the future. So here's the actual program. I'm going to run it. When I run it, here comes my output shell window. And it says, what is your first name? I type in Dennis. It says, hello, Dennis. What is your last name? Notice on the same line, I type in Hunchuk. It says, your name is Dennis Hunchuk. Your name is the full name. How old are you? Let's say I'm 5. You'll be 125 in the future. So this converts the 5 into an integer. This cubes it, and this shows this future age. It's basically that. So let's do a quick summary of what we learned in this module. We learned the function for user input is input. We learned that input returns a string. We learned about int and float on how to convert a string into a number so we could do math. And we learned that you can concatenate 2 strings together using plus. See you in the next